still look at him as the boy that I met in high school when he was playing all the jokes and really just being crazy, pretty crazy. And so there's a wild and crazy man inside of there.
We now know that that comment about Romney in high school, which seemed to come out of nowhere, was actually Ann Romney very, very deliberately pre-spinning the Washington Post story that came out today about Mitt Romney's high school days. It was 9 days ago that Ann Romney said that. The Washington Post has been working on this story for weeks, and the Romney campaign has known that. Ann Romney's wild and crazy line was meant to excuse Mitt Romney's bullying, reported today in the Washington Post. 5 former classmates told the Post that Romney taunted a male classmate with the phrase, "atta girl," and harassed a soft-spoken boy with bleach blonde hair named John Lauber, seen here at the very back of the class photo. The Post reports that Romney led his friends on a march through the dormitory, shouting about their plan to cut Lauber's hair, tackled him, and pinned him to the ground as Lauber, his eyes filling with tears, screamed for help. Romney repeatedly clipped his hair with a pair of scissors. 30 years later, one witness saw Lauber at an airport and apologized for not doing anything to stop it. Lauber said the experience was horrible. One of the participants, a wrestler who helped hold Lauber down while Mitt Romney cut his hair, told the Post it was, quote, senseless, stupid, idiotic. Another participant said it was, quote, vicious. According to the Post report, the participant's memory of this bullying that the victim remembered as horrible is still vivid. The Romney campaign response to the story today, a rather obvious lie that Mitt Romney alone, the only one among the participants, doesn't remember it. As the story gained more heat this morning, the Romney campaign went into damage control, delivering Romney to a friendly radio talk show interview and, where else, to Fox News to deliver an apology on something he still claims he doesn't remember.
I had no idea what that individual's sexual orientation might be. Going back to the 1960s, that wasn't something that we all discussed or considered. So that's simply just not accurate. I don't recall the incident myself, but I've seen the reports and not going to argue with that. There's no question but that I did some stupid things when I was in high school, and obviously if I hurt anyone by virtue of that, I would be very sorry for it and apologize for it.
John Lauber, Mitt Romney's victim, will never hear Romney's apology. He died in 2004. Joining me now is Jonathan Capehart, Washington Post opinion writer and MSNBC political analyst. Jonathan, let's just adjudicate as fair-minded observers, having read this story, watched Mitt Romney's response. Do you think he's lying about not remembering any of this?
I think he's guilty of faulty memory. He can say whatever he wants to say, but when you have 5 people who go, well, I think 4 of them went on the record and one of the people went on background. When you have those 5 people willing to talk about what happened, and they individually talked about this story. It's not like they all got together in a room with Jason Horowitz from the Post and told him this story. They individually have memories of what happened. And what happened, as you described at the opening of this segment, was an emotionally and physically violent act that was led by Mitt Romney on this poor kid at the time, whose only sin, if you will, was to look different than everyone else at Cranbrook. And for Mitt Romney to lead a gang, if you will, of five guys with himself, scissors in hand, to go after this kid like that is reprehensible. And let's keep something else in mind, Lawrence. This is bullying, and we're talking about bullying that happened 50 years ago. But this is bullying, the kind of bullying that is still happening today. This is the kind of thing that millions of kids, boys and girls, straight, gay, or perceived to be gay, go through every day in schools, in their neighborhoods, who some of whom the bullying has been so horrendous that they've unfortunately taken their own lives. You've had adults in schools and other places who don't take these things seriously, who believe that this is a phase, that this is a boys will be boys situation, when what you're talking about is something that's emotionally and physically violent and damaging to people. And for Mitt Romney to say, well, I don't recall, but if I offended anyone or hurt anyone, well, then maybe I'll apologize, that's unacceptable.
And Jonathan, you know, George W. Bush said memorably, when I was young and irresponsible, I was young and irresponsible. And I gotta say, I want to be able to accept answers like that from candidates. I don't want people to have to answer to what they were doing in high school in a normal situation. But I've got a real problem with this on many levels. And one is, to whom much is given, much is expected. Here's Mitt Romney. Every single thing in life was given to him. But before he got to high school, everything, wealth was given to him, everything was given to him. And he didn't grow up in some rough and tumble neighborhood where there was a lot of thuggery going around like a lot of us did, and maybe, you know, fell into that kind of spirit. That's not what this is about. This is a whole different thing. This is someone whose father was governor. This is someone who should have been presenting himself in the world very differently from this story's account.
Well, sure. And that's, again, that we're talking 50 years ago, and, you know, he was a kid who did dumb and stupid things, as he said, as he admitted to, as Ann Romney said on, you know, there at CBS this morning. But now the onus is on him today, as a 65-year-old presumptive Republican nominee for president in 2012, where bullying is still a topic of conversation today, something that has the attention of the Obama administration and the White House in terms of something that needs to be addressed. This was an opportunity for Mitt Romney to rise above it if he could, acknowledge the pain that he caused, and to acknowledge the fact that that sort of pain that he perpetuated 50 years ago is something that's happening today, and it's something that, as president, he would continue to address, something that the Obama administration, something on with which he agrees, you know, with the Obama administration. But he didn't do that. Instead, he tried to duck and weave, bob and weave his way out of it, and it was unsuccessful.
And why didn't he get in trouble for this at his fancy private school that has a lot of rules about this kind of thing? Maybe because his old man was governor, maybe because there was favoritism shown him every day of his life as he was proceeding through high school. It's an ugly one. Jonathan Capehart, thank you very much for joining me tonight.
Thanks, Lawrence.
Coming up, President Obama uses a new politically powerful phrase, Etch-a-Sketch, in response to Mitt Romney's unbelievable claim of credit for saving the auto industry. And conservatives are lying about the history of marriage.